Hi, friends. I hope you all had a good week and are ready for our next story time in our virtual library. The weather is getting way nicer now. Are you able to go out and play or go for walks? Were you able to see any reptiles or slimy creatures out there on your walks? And are there lots of flowers growing? So, in our History virtual library, we are on a book journey reading 10 books from the Forest of Reading, written by Canadian author. I am thrilled that we have so many awesome authors here in Canada, and I am grateful that we are on this reading adventure together. The 10 books that we are sharing are part of the Blue Spruce category of the Forest of Reading 2020. These are books that have been chosen especially to read with elementary students. If you have loved these books, when we go back to Hess, you will be able to borrow them from the library. When we have finished reading all the 10 books, you will pick your favorite. You will vote for the book you think is the best. We will then add up all the votes and find out which book is the favorite book at Hess Street School. Here are the covers of all 10 books. Don't they look interesting? Isn't this a great adventure? I am really enjoying sharing these books with you. Do you think your favorite book will be the same as Miss Herman's? Do you think your favorite will be the same as Miss Bernanke's? Or Miss Archer's? Or Miss Sabrin's? Do you think your favorite book will be your class's favorite book or the favorite book at Hess Street? Well, we will have to see when we've finished all 10 books. Last week's book was The Reptile Club by Maureen Fergus. When Rory starts a club, he is surprised at who arrived at the first meeting. Remember? We have already read Emma's Gems by Anne Renaud. Emma learned from her grandpa how important it was to be generous in her life. Giraffe and Bird Together Again by Rebecca Bender. Giraffe doesn't hesitate to find and rescue his friend Bird. The Magic Boat by Kit Pearson and Catherine Ferris. With help from Piper, Ellie discovers she has her own vivid imagination. Me, Toma, and the Concrete Garden by Andrew Larson. Vincent and Toma throw dirt balls around a vacant lot, but a beautiful garden grows. Mustafa, written by Marie Louise Gay. Mustafa moves to a new country and feels invisible, but after a while he begins to become part of his new world. A Plan for Pops by Heather Smith. When Pops gets hurt, using skills learned from Granddad and with a little help from their neighbors, Lou comes up with a plan for Pops. Sleep Sheep, written by Carrie Lynn Sparrow, illustrated by Guillaume Perrault. There are lots of things Duncan likes about bedtime. The stories, the pajamas, the bubblegum flavored toothpaste. The only thing he doesn't like is going to sleep. And he'll do anything he can to avoid it. Until one day, Duncan's mom has had enough of his stalling. Try counting sheep, she tells him. So he does. At first, it's kind of fun. As he counts, each sheep appears wearing its number like a race car and leaps over the bed. But then comes sheep number 68, who hesitates. He needs a drink of water before he can jump. Then he has to go to the bathroom. Then he wants to put on running shoes. Will sheep number 68 ever do what he's supposed to? The author is the person who writes the story. Carrie Lynn Sparrow is an elementary school teacher who lives on a farm in the Ottawa Valley with her husband Neil and their two young boys, Robert and Ole. A city girl most of her life, she has grown to love muddy creeks, rogue cows, and yes, even John Deere tractors. Sleep Sheep is Carrie's first published book. She is constantly inspired by the funny and crazy and amazing things that happen each day when you work with kids. The illustrator is the person who draws the pictures in the story. Guillaume is an illustrator and author. He works mainly in the youth publishing field with several illustrated albums and novels. He alternates his creative techniques by going from wood and pencil to the ink and often completely digital. He currently lives in Gatineau, Quebec. While you are enjoying the book, I would like you to think about, why was Duncan's mom upset with him? Why do you think Duncan doesn't want to go to sleep? Is there a time when you didn't want to go to sleep? We are very lucky because the author, Carrie Lynn Sparrow, is going to read the story Sleep Sheep to us on YouTube.
Hi readers, my name is Carrie Sparrow, and this is my book, Sleep Sheep. It's illustrated by Gillian Perot and published by Kids Can Press. I am honored to be nominated for a Blue Spruce Award this year. The Forrester Reading Program has given me access to some amazing new books to read with my own two kids and my grade 4 students. So let's think sheepy thoughts and enjoy Sleep Sheep. Duncan liked bedtime snacks and bedtime stories. He liked putting on his favorite pajamas. If there was bubblegum flavored ice cream, Duncan even liked brushing his teeth. The only thing Duncan did not like about bedtime was going to sleep, and he would do anything he could to avoid it. Duncan was pretty sure he knew enough tricks to avoid going to sleep for the foreseeable future. What he didn't know was that his mom had a few tricks up her sleeve, too. One night, Duncan found that his room was not quite as he'd left it. Warmer pajamas, cooler pajamas, directions to bathroom, nightlight number 1, granola bar with raisins, granola bar without raisins, glass of water, jug of water for refill, extra blanket, 17 cuddly toys, extra pillow hard, extra pillow fluffy, cotton socks, wool socks, nightlight number 2, box of tissues, short books, long books, flashlights. After his favorite bedtime story, Duncan's mom gave him a hug and a kiss and said, "Sweet dreams, Duncan." "But I need..." But Duncan couldn't think of anything because everything he could possibly need was right here in his room. "But I'm not sleepy," Duncan wailed. "Try counting sheep," his mom suggested, and she closed the door. Duncan took a deep breath and tried to think sheepy thoughts. "1," he whispered. To his surprise, a handsome sheep with a green number 1 on his side jumped right over his bed. Duncan rubbed his eyes. 2. Another sheep, this one wearing a purple number 2 with a matching scarf, jumped over his bed. Duncan looked around his room and saw that one side was crowded with sheep. They all wore numbers like race cars. Counting sheep was going to be more interesting than Duncan had thought. He fluffed up his pillow, pulled up his blanket, and continued. It was all going very well, and Duncan was even starting to feel a bit sleepy when he got to 68. 68, said Duncan. Sheep number 68 stepped into position and then hesitated. Duncan paused his counting and waited. He waited and waited and waited. Finally, he asked, "Is there a problem, number 68? Sheep number 68 cleared his throat. It's just, well, do you think I could have a drink of water before I jump? Duncan reached for the glass of water that his mom had left and passed it over to him. When sheep number 68 had emptied the glass, Duncan said, "Ready?" Sheep number 68 nodded. 68, Duncan said, and then waited. He waited and waited and waited, but sheep number 68 didn't jump. "Is there something else you need?" Duncan asked. "It's just, well, after all that water, I really have to. Duncan sighed. The bathroom is down the hall. When sheep number 68 returned, Duncan fixed him with a determined stare and said, 68. Again, nothing happened. "What now?" Duncan asked, exasperated. "Well, I'm just not sure I'm quite ready to jump yet. Maybe you could have a few of the other sheep jump first. Maybe I could jump after sheep number 72? Duncan stared at him. "You want me to count 67, 69, 70, 71, 72, 68? Sheep number 68 looked sheepish. "I can't count like that," Duncan said. "It's your turn to jump now." Sheep number 68 thought he would like a bit of a run at the bed, so the other sheep cleared a path for him. But he put on the brakes at the last second. Maybe he could use a step stool instead? No, he didn't feel comfortable about that. Maybe he should stretch first. Or perhaps borrow sheep number 23's running shoes? What if he took his socks off? No, what if he put his socks back on? It went on and on like this, and still sheep number 68 would not jump. After drinking his third glass of water, sheep number 68's eyes started to droop. "Look," said Duncan. "You're tired." He pointed to the other side of his bed. "See how relaxed and comfortable those 67 sheep are? Why don't you just join them?" Sheep number 68 yawned, heaved a big sigh, and finally made his way over to the other side of the bed. Sheep number 69, in his sleekest racing suit and extra springy sneakers, looked expectantly at Duncan. But Duncan was fast asleep. Who knew that bedtime could be so exhausting? I hope you enjoyed the story today. Please be sure to check out my new book, The Couch Potato, illustrated by Yin Fan Huang. It's a delicious story about a messy family and a rogue potato. I can be found on Facebook and Twitter at Carrie Sparrow. Thanks for listening today, and have fun counting sheep tonight.
That was a great story. I hope you all enjoyed the sheep. Could you relate to Duncan? I certainly can. When I am worried about something, I can't sleep. I try everything I can to go to sleep, but nothing helps. Maybe I should try counting sheep. Let's talk about what we learned from Duncan and the sheep. What are some of the ways sheep number 68 tried to avoid jumping over the bed? Why do you think sheep number 68 doesn't want to jump over the bed? The other sheep wait patiently, waiting for sheep number 68 to jump over the bed. What could they do or say, do you think, to help sheep number 68 jump? Do you think Duncan will want to sleep the next night? Why or why not? What do you think the mum is thinking on the last page as she peeks into Duncan's room? Think of a time when you did not want to go to sleep. What did you do to avoid going to bed? Everyone has trouble falling asleep sometimes. What sort of things can you do to help yourself get to sleep? Our follow-up activity. Sheep number 68 was nervous to jump over the bed. Think of an unusual way for him to go over the bed instead of jumping. Could he take a boat? Use a trampoline? Swing from a rope? I'd like you to draw your idea on a piece of paper and then write a sentence to explain your picture. You can then take a picture and post it for your teacher. Your challenge. This week, I want to challenge you to make your own sheep. You can use your imagination, or you can watch the YouTube workshop posted after this video. Well, everyone, that is our work for this week from the Huss Street Virtual Library. I have loved being with you, and I hope you enjoyed your story and our follow-up activities. Have a great week. Stay safe and healthy. Be helpful around your house and enjoy reading lots of books. And do get outside for some fresh air.